Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry. My name is Sulabh Jain, and in this video we're going to be talking about stock market predictions for the month of February and throughout the rest of this year. I'll also talk a little bit about the Reddit rebellion, the Myanmar military coup thing that just happened, and also a little bit on gold and silver. All that's coming up. Now to start out this video on February, let's have a look at our predictions for January, and we really only had two. One of them was that there'd be a stock market pullback in the month of January. And this was a prediction I was actually very nervous about because the whole month the stock market kept going up. But then in the last few days it actually fell and corrected, erasing all of January's gains. So we got that one right. I had a second prediction where from the middle of January to the end of February that there would be an upward run with the price of silver. That actually ended up happening, and I'll talk more about this in more detail when we talk about Reddit and how that situation's going, but we got 2 out of 2 right so far this year. So we'll keep that in mind as we make some predictions for February in just a moment. But first, let's talk about Reddit, because this is really important to understand the energy of where the markets are at the moment and where they're going to be for the rest of this year and next year too. One of my predictions was that with Saturn in Capricorn, that's going to bring the financial sector and all the banks down to the ground, down to their knees, I think was the exact phrase I used in one of my previous videos. This is basically what's happening right now with Reddit. You see, Saturn represents the people, it's the common man. And Capricorn represents the banks and the financial institutions. And Saturn brings down the financial institutions. It actually brings down any house it transits into. So this Reddit rebellion, as they're calling it, is basically the little guy sticking it to the big guy. And I say good on him for doing that. This isn't the end though. Saturn is going to stay in Capricorn for the next 2 years, or for the rest of this year and into most of next year too. So we're going to see more and more stories like this come out. One of their stories, however, was on the price of silver potentially going up to $1,000. Now, I don't think it's specifically going to get up to that price target itself, but we are going to see a general trend with the gold and silver prices going upwards throughout this year and into most of next year too. So Reddit, in bringing down the GameStop stock, that was more or less Saturn's energy, and we got to pay very close attention to that. Now, let's talk about February and my predictions for what's going to be happening in that month. Now, I've basically only got 2 predictions over here. Number 1, there's going to be a major Bitcoin price rise taking place between February into the middle of March. It's going to be like a 6-week month. My second prediction is that there's going to be a general stock market rise. And a lot of people are actually predicting that the stock market top has already come in, that we're about to go off a cliff into a big crash. I beg to differ with them. I think if anything, the stock market is going to keep going higher and higher throughout most of this year. There'll be the odd correction and the odd pullback that, as I said before, eliminates a whole month's worth of gains, but we're not looking at anything serious like what happened in March of last year. At least not for most of this year. There will be a time to hit the panic button later on, and I'll give you guys as much notice on that as I possibly can, but for now we should be jubilant on the stock market. For those of you guys who are my members, you'll know the specific price targets that I think Bitcoin is going to be hitting in the next couple of weeks. If you guys would like to become members, click on this link over here. Thanks a lot.